What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes news for June 12th, 2023. And like I said, it feels like we're going to get a news video every single day. There's still 3 more mirrors to light up after today, so that's what? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yeah, there's some things we still have questions about, like we haven't really heard about the Dragon Boat Festival that's supposed to happen on the same week as Anniversary. I don't know if plans have changed from the beginning of the month when they showed us a spoiler, but today we get to take a look at Natalie, the light hero, and I think it's confirmed that she's a ranger as well, so maybe she has some offensive capability when she does become a transcendence hero. But at first glance at this hero, kind of seems like a decent support hero. We got energy drain, buffing of holy damage, and reducing holy damage from enemies and their attack and stuff. So let's talk about this hero, because honestly, I think she might be pretty decent just as a standard hero. She's like a Delacium, a Gerke. She's all rolled into one. We'll see if she's any good. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get going. Okay, so as always, it does look like we have 2 different looks of Natalie. It looks like this might be her... I'm gonna go with 10-star version, and this one in the mirror down here, you can kind of see she's got like more orange hair with like the same outfit though. Like it looks very similar, although it's got a gold. I don't know. This one kind of looks cool. I'm actually thinking this one might be the 10-star. And this one might be the 5-star version. I don't know. But like I said, we still have 3 more days of information coming out. So it's like the 7 days leading up to the 7th anniversary. Kind of cool. Let's take a look at her skills. So from what I've seen in translations and stuff on certain pages, like it looks like I've seen the word ranger put around quite a bit. So I'm going to say she is a ranger. It's really hard to tell with skill sets nowadays because the skill sets might not have anything to do with their actual skills. But let's take a look at her active skill here. First one called Mirror Reflection. So this is going to deal damage to multiple enemies and reduces their speed and holy damage for several rounds. Really depends on how much that speed is, if it matters. Then increases all allies' holy damage dealt for several rounds and grants targets with Refraction Shelter extra buffs. We'll go over that at the very end here. Natalie will deal extra damage based on the layers of sheen she has, reduces the target's energy, and removes target's attribute buffs randomly. So we'll have to see. Again, there's so many of these, it's like we need to know the exact number, because it's like, how long does this holy damage buff last? It's obviously not going to be like Gerke where it lasts like forever. I highly doubt it. What is that speed debuff like? The enemy lowering of holy damage is like, okay, I'd rather it be attack, honestly, but hey, it is what it is. And then of course the extra layers of sheen causing energy reduction and stuff like that. Sheen is just a skill effect. It can't be purified, can't be gotten rid of, just used to enhance her active and her passive skills. Brave Confrontation. Confrontation increases HP, attack, holy damage, and damage reduction. That is like sweet. HP, attack, damage reduction. You want to see that on every base hero so that they at least have a chance to be worthwhile, because without those, without that built-in damage reduction, as you guys have seen, some heroes are just ridiculously squishy. We'll have to see how much damage reduction that is as well. Next up is her second passive, Familiar Shadow. Changes the basic attack to deals damage to enemy with the highest attack and reduces their target's holy damage for several rounds. Again, another thing going after the highest attack target's holy damage. I guess that's good, but like we don't really prioritize it a lot in a ton of game modes. And it's hard to tell how much holy damage actual PvE content actually has without having the data mine info. Also replicates random dots or attribute reduction effects from the target to other enemies. Each effect can be replicated up to a certain layers. Natalie will also deal extra damage based on the number of layers of sheen she owns. So it seems like the sheen isn't consumed, right? It's just how many layers she has, which is kind of cool that it's not like one of these, you have to build it up and then consume it like an RPG almost. This is interesting though, because this is essentially like, the first part was like a Gerke type effect. This part is now like a Delacium effect. But it does seem like, I don't know, replicates random dots or attribute reductions effects from the target to other enemies. So of course that does mean this is going to have no effect against like single target bosses like Star Expedition. But places where there's multiple targets, then this will have an effect, and we'll have to see how that works, because one thing that people always forget is attribute reduction of like lowering the enemy's attack can be a huge buff, like when you're pairing them with someone like Ticks or Heart Watcher or something like that. It really does up the survivability of our team, so we'll have to see and pay attention to the numbers on this one. Lastly, we have this Awakened Splendor. At the beginning of each battle, grant self and one ally with the highest attack Refraction Shelter till the battle ends. At the end of each round, restores allies HP when self has a control effect. I like it up until the end here, so let's start at the beginning again. Grant self and one ally with the highest attack, so your biggest damage dealer, Refraction Shelter, which we'll talk about in a second. The control effect needing to restore allies HP kind of sucks, but she's not a priest, I don't think. It sounds like she's a ranger. Okay, I mean, a ranger having like a AoE heal, it makes me think maybe it's going to be a priest, but I swore I've seen ranger posted on the WeChats quite a bit. So let's go over this Refraction Shelter, because this is basically where it happens. Skill effect, not stackable, so you're only going to be able to get one stack of anything. At the end of each round, there is a chance to remove attribute reduction effects from the owner. That's pretty cool. It's an extra purify. When the target with Refraction Shelter is under a basic attack or takes damage from an active skill, so it doesn't count passives or anything like that, Natalie has a chance to gain Sheen for several rounds. So sadly, that doesn't do anything really for the hero that has it. Really, the effect is her and the main damage dealer on your team are going to be able to remove attribute reduction effects all the time. It's a skill effect. So again, this can't be purified or it can't be removed by an enemy Natalie either. So it's interesting because again, the Sheen comes into play here where we're talking about her being able to drain energy from the targets essentially. And of course increases her damage, but at least on this base form, because it's just a light hero, I don't think we're going to care too much about that. But this does also bring up another topic. If she is a ranger, this is what her place is going to look like. So she's going to have, and again, a lot of times this is not correct, a lot of brand new heroes pretty much. I did see a note, let me get back to it, because it did have notes about who she's actually tenants for as well, and those were pretty spicy actually. So this right here is she is a tenant for the first slot of Mutated Fungus G-Ster, which, I mean, that's actually kind of important. So she's the first slot for Mutated Fungus G-Ster and Azrael the Dauntless. Lord of Death Azrael, sorry. That's what it sounds like from what we have on the WeChat. And then she's a second tenant for like 2C Lago, regular Vulcan. It doesn't seem like anybody great. Or sorry, that's the second tenant. And then third tenant, it says G-Ster. And fourth tenant for somebody else. The translations are absolutely abysmal. So if she is a tenant for first slot, if she's tenant for first slot Mutated Fungus G-Ster, that actually might be good. But I mean, again, this is a normal faction hero. If there's ever a time that a good hero might come out, it's probably going to be at Anniversary. So she might actually have some really good stats that you can use. But again, she won't become a Transcendence hero from the sounds of it this week. It's going to be next month. They're going to keep to the normal cycle. They're not going to repeat what they did at Chinese New Year and release both at the same time. So let me know what you guys think about these skills, because they sound interesting for sure. And of course, we have 3 more days of information coming our way. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'm anticipating, I'm so anticipating 7th anniversary. We're going to have a couple different live streams as well. And I'll see you guys next time.